So in this video I'm going to be analysing Bruno Fernandes' role in Manchester United's win over Real Sociedad, but not just showing you his goals, which obviously are going to take the headlines, but his role in the build-up to those goals, specifically the penalties, analysing how Bruno has become an integral part of Amorim's possession strategy, particularly in deeper areas, whilst also analysing the changes in strategy that Amorim has made from the start of his tenure, as well as praising both Casemiro and Højlund. So here we see, due to that narrow V-shape that Xerxes, Garnacho and Højlund were pressing in, Real Sociedad in the build-up phase can't play through the centre using Zubimendi, and so are forced out wide, which allows Dalot to spring forward from right wing back to apply pressure, with Garnacho then cutting off the passing lane back inside to the left-sided centre-back, and Bruno Fernandes already pushing up from the midfield double pivot, ready to apply pressure to the Real Sociedad player on the inside of the fullback Pablo Marin, meaning that the left-back Muñoz is now boxed in and has limited passing options. He could play the pass into Marin, but because Bruno Fernandes has pushed up quickly and is in such close proximity, this could lead to a loss of possession on the edge of the Sociedad box, and so instead he opts for the safer pass up the line. But Mazraoui, as the right-sided centre-back, does fantastically to follow Becker's deeper movement, exactly the kind of defending you want in a high press, right up on his back, and he's able to win possession back in the Real Sociedad half. And this was an example of Amorim using a narrow front three in order to stop Sociedad playing through the centre and forcing them out wide, where their passing options are limited and a lot more predictable, increasing United's chance of winning the ball back. Well, before I break that down, a quick reminder: if you do want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to dragonjersey.com. They've got a variety of different retro jerseys, with Manchester United shirts going all the way back to the early 90s. You can use code ALANTIS at checkout for a 10% discount for a limited time, and depending on where you live, you can get 7 to 12 day delivery time, as well as a money back guarantee. If you do want to get in contact with them, they do have their WhatsApp and email on the site, so I'll leave it linked in the description and comment section below, and remember to use code ALANTIS at checkout for a 10% discount. And now, as Casemiro receives possession, you can see the front three of Xerxes, Garnacho and Højlund are all in close proximity to each other. But what is the significance of this? Well, first of all, Marin is initially cutting the passing lane from Casemiro into Garnacho, but Casemiro and Bruno, both of whom had fantastic games, simply play a 1-2, which draws Marin over to Bruno, meaning that when Casemiro receives the ball back, now the passing lane into Garnacho in the half space is opened up. But because Højlund and Xerxes have both shifted over to that side, this allows United to create an overload, with the centre-backs picking up Xerxes and Højlund and the left-back Muñoz having to sit slightly wider in case the pass goes out to Dalot. And because of the amount of players that United have in this area, this affords Garnacho space, as he's essentially a free man now, sitting in behind Zubimendi, and Casemiro does excellently to find Garnacho's feet first time, and now United have worked the ball out to Dalot in a wide area in the final third. And credit to Amorim, because I think in recent games we have seen both Dorgu and Dalot being a lot more willing to put in early crosses. I think earlier on in the year both were apprehensive to do this due to United's lack of aerial threat inside of the box. But even without an aerially dominant striker like an Osimhen or an En-Nesyri inside of the box, crosses can still cause the opposition issues and lead to chances, as Dalot's cross does here, getting the ball out of his feet and putting in a deeper cross to find Dorgu's head, and whilst it doesn't end up with a clear-cut chance, you can certainly see the threat these type of crosses can cause. But moving on about 15 or 20 seconds, United have recycled possession, and the ball is back with Casemiro on the edge of the final third, and this is where we see Amorim's 3-2-5 possession shape shift to more of a 3-1-6. However, it's not the shape that impressed me tactically, but how Amorim instructed his back three to hold these high and narrow positions in possession, creating a diamond shape with Casemiro at the base of the possession shape. But why is this significant? Well, first of all, it allows Bruno Fernandes to push up from in front of the Sociedad midfield line, taking up a position in behind it, without leaving Casemiro isolated in the centre of the pitch, as would happen if the back three were maybe 5 to 10 yards deeper. And so by pushing the back three high and narrow, this gives Amorim's side a narrow and compact rest defence, which provides defensive security in case of a turnover, providing defensive protection against any potential counter-attack, but also if there is a turnover, United now have more bodies in this area of the pitch in order to counter-press. And as Mazraoui receives possession, you can once again see the United players shifting over to that side, looking to create overloads and create a free man, which turned out to be a crucial aspect of the lead up to United's first penalty. And this is how. As Mazraoui plays the pass back inside to Casemiro, you can see that on the right side, United have 3 players ahead of Casemiro and Mazraoui. The left-back Muñoz has pushed out onto Garnacho, who's holding a wider position. Dalot, who, as we saw frequently throughout this game, has moved infield into the half space and is being picked up by Zubimendi, and Bruno Fernandes is currently being picked up by Marin. But from here, the penalty is created by Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes' connection, as soon as Mazraoui plays this pass, you can already see that Bruno Fernandes is looking to run off the blind side of Marin, into that space that's created by Højlund and Xerxes' central positioning, forcing the left-sided centre-back to hold a narrower position, and Garnacho's wider positioning drawing the left-back wide. And Casemiro's lofted passes were excellent throughout this game, and this ball progression via more direct passes definitely suits his game a lot better than receiving the ball under pressure in congested areas with his back to goal, with United looking to play intricately through the centre of the pitch, as they were doing earlier on in Amorim's tenure. But Casemiro plays an exquisite first-time pass over the top, releasing Bruno Fernandes, who's run off his man, but also credit to Højlund here, as he shows he does have the goal-scoring instincts, as he reacts quicker than the two centre-backs and Xerxes behind him, allowing him to get goal side, and Bruno Fernandes finds him with a pass across the box, and to be honest, I think Højlund will look back at this and think he maybe should have scored, but even still, he wins a penalty, which Bruno Fernandes eventually puts in the net. But despite his hat-trick drawing all the headlines, what really impressed me about Bruno Fernandes' performance in this game was his ability to not only dictate play from deep, but continuously progress the ball into dangerous positions. Take this clip for example, he receives the ball and immediately sees two options, Garnacho on the far side and Dalot on the edge of the box. Now the pass into Dalot on the edge of the box is the pass that he wants to play, but here we see Bruno's intelligence, as at this point Brais Mendes has positioned himself to cut the pass into Dalot, and so what Bruno does is he shapes like he's going to switch play out to the far side, waiting for Dalot to shift his position from in behind Mendes in order to open up that passing lane, and the disguise on Bruno's pass works, as Mendes then shifts his body weight to his left, United's right, opening up the passing lane for Bruno to now play a reverse pass, splitting Kubo and Mendes, and working the ball into Dalot on the edge of the box, who's now able to complete the 1-2, and from this position most players would just shift the ball out to Dorgu, and let him try to manoeuvre an angle to put in a cross. But Bruno has the quality on his weaker left foot to try to find Højlund, who's actually taken up a great position on the blind side of the centre-back, and it's a fantastic cross that forces Romero, the goalkeeper, to come out and punch. Here again, Bruno receives possession in a deeper area in front of the Real Sociedad midfield line, but despite some people thinking that Bruno just plays long passes just for the sake of it, you can see here that he's scanned ahead centrally for his options, and he's recognised that Real Sociedad's defensive shape is incredibly narrow, with them looking to congest the space centrally, which consequently means the space is now out wide on the far side, and you can see him telling Dorgu to push forward down the flank so he can switch play with a pinpoint pass out to Dorgu on the left flank, and even though Dorgu ends up going backwards, you can see how this type of direct switch of play against a compact defensive shape can work to create promising 1v1 situations for the wide players. And in general, I thought throughout this game Bruno's composure, technical ability and pass selection was truly elite throughout this game. Here as Mazraoui plays the pass into him on the edge of the United defensive third, Bruno completely sells Marin the dummy, before driving the attack through the middle third and finding Casemiro. Here in this example, as the ball is falling to him in the centre of his own half, under pressure from the oncoming Sociedad midfielder, Bruno's awareness is so good that he already knows where the space is and how to exploit it, and so when he's able to bring the ball down on his chest, he's able to immediately play the pass as it bounces with the outside of his boot, splitting the right winger Kubo, who has been caught high, and the right back Elizondo, who's been drawn in narrow, to release Dorgu into the space down the right side for him to now drive the ball into the Real Sociedad half. And in the lead up to the second penalty, Bruno also plays a key role in the progression of the ball into the box. Here he receives possession on the edge of the final third, with Real Sociedad now sitting in what resembles a 5-4 shape, as United are in their 2-5 shape at the top of the pitch. And once again, Bruno Fernandes doesn't take the easy option of just circulating the ball sideways. He's constantly looking for the pass centrally, to work the ball in behind the midfield line, and he's able to do this here with an intricate outside of the boot pass into Xerxes' feet. Just like with Dalot, he receives a 1-2 from Xerxes, and yet again, despite having a simple pass open to feed Garnacho into a wide position inside of the box, Bruno takes the riskier, higher value pass back inside, volleying the bouncing ball into the feet of Højlund, who, as he did a few times throughout this game, is able to link play well with Xerxes, using the inside of his right foot to caress the ball down into the path of Xerxes, setting him up perfectly for a shot from the edge of the box, which will eventually be saved and fall into the path of Dorgu, leading to the penalty that Bruno Fernandes will slot in to give United the lead. And so overall, it wasn't just Bruno Fernandes' hat-trick that made him the man of the match, but the fact that he was at the centre of most of United's best attacks, using his composure, intelligence, vision and technical ability to consistently take the riskier passing option in order to progress the ball between the lines and into dangerous positions. So thank you for watching, let me know what you think in the comments section below. And if you do want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to Dragon Jersey. You can use code Atlantis at checkout for a 10% discount. And if you're interested in any of my articles or you want to sign up for the in-game Instagram group chat, I'll leave that linked on the end screen alongside another video now.